Hi dears, welcome to Mars Musings of this week. I want to touch upon the cyclical nature of the economy and of course linked to our seasons. As we're entering December, which for me is always the Advent time, also into year end, in many countries it's the winter time. Maybe not if you're in the southern hemisphere, but really that inwards, that yin time of reflection, of the leaves falling. And in that sense, it also gives a time to readjust. And for me, I see the same in our economy and the economic cycles that we go through. We have recessions, recoveries, um, growth periods, and then peaks. And we go through these cycles in the economy as well. And so when we understand that our economic system works very similar to the seasons, works very similar to the cyclical nature of all of our lives, night and day, in and out breath, the yin and yang flow, we can understand better how we relate with the economy and what drives it. Of course, we cannot predict the tail events or big events that are happening, such as many that have taken place in the world. But what we can understand is the cyclical nature of it, which is very similar to the seasons, and so we can adjust our lives accordingly. If we know that the economy goes through these cycles, it used to be 7 to 10 years, and now it's speeding up between 4 years, around 4 years. I would say that these cycles can go through more or less. We can also adjust our lives to it. So if you're needing money in the short term, you wouldn't invest it in something that is exposed to the cyclical nature. However, if it's a long-term investment, you can ride through the cyclical nature because you know that the cycles will happen, but over the long term, it is moving towards your goal. And so it's really important as we enter year end, especially knowing your goals, knowing your intentions for the new year, and how it is you want to look at your finances, your life plans, and structure this into accordance with it to really look at the new year ahead. And this is always a beautiful period that I look at to see how do you reflect on this. And as we've gone through hard times in the last months and years, there have been impacts of the economic cycles. And what I'm urging through this Mars Musings and just the understanding is that how can we embrace this instead of working day to day and fighting the cycles versus looking at it as the waves in the ocean and looking at the ocean in itself and riding it through, sailing it to understand what does that show to you? How can you move through these cycles and build yourself up and be sure to withhold them in your, let's say, parameters or your strategies that you're putting in place. So really moving from the short-term survival mechanism of each wave to the long-term being able to see it for what it is and then to plan through these. And what I'm really wishing is that more of us could understand this, to ground it in our systems, to make these plans and to move out of survival mode of these waves into like embedding this and saying, okay, it works in waves. What does this look like? How can I plan ahead and understand this so I'm not taken by these shocks? Of course, I'm not saying that we're not anticipating tail events and things that are really happening, but how can you take care of yourself in these moments, stay centered with your intentions and your strategy to move ahead with what feels aligned for you? I hope this inspires you in some way, either to see the economy in a different way, to make peace with these cycles, and also to open up to your goals and your intentions for the year ahead and what this looks like for you in terms of your finances, in terms of money, maybe your purpose, how you bring this into alignment, and really, have a vision for what you want to create in the coming cycle that is opening up.